2021 in Irving, Texas. We have all of the progress.
To finally get this project complete is just beyond words.
And all of the emotional moments.
On behalf of the Irving City Council, thank you.
Sure to tug at your heart.
I love you, Mom.
Plus the tense times caught on camera. The big stories and fun events that all come together to tell the story of the year.
But we can see it in your eyes, in your tears.
Sights unique to Irving.
I think it's great. I think it brings the community together.
And moments worth seeing again. This is City Source, the best of 2021. Ending 2021 on a high note, the reopening of Heritage Park capped off a big year of news in Irving. Hello and welcome to City Source. I'm Thomas Gandy. Let's start our Best of 2021 special with a quick look back at some of the top stories. I think it is safe to say that for years to come, we will all be talking about the historic winter storm of 2021.
I couldn't be more proud of the people that work for the city of Irving.
We had an extraordinary challenge with one of the biggest weather-related events I think our city has ever seen. And what our crews were able to go out there and do, and they did it 24/7.
Our first responders, our streets crews,
making sure our roads were as clear as possible. We had our water crews out there responding. Our emergency operations team was in these centers.
We had employees that dedicated 24/7 to make sure that people were comfortable.
And especially our parks crews opening up our warming centers and making sure our residents have a warm place to go with some food.
I tweeted out and put on social media a number of times how proud I was of our men and women, not just those men and women driving around in police cars, but our dispatchers, our detention staff, our support staff. You know, they showed up every day. They were here ready to work. Many of them spent the night at the police department.
The guys did a fantastic job of just keeping a positive attitude and just mowing through the calls one by one. There was ice all over everything.
Push it all the way to them. There you go.
Yeah, that's something you definitely don't see every day. That cold water takes your core temperature down quick. That's a serious situation. We have a great relationship with IPD, the police department here. We work hand in hand.
Talk about just answering the call. It was truly remarkable to see their dedication, their resilience, their commitment to providing service for this community. I couldn't have been more proud.
I can't say enough about our employees. I'm so proud to be a mayor of a city that the employees really believe in their community and are giving back.
That's what we're here for. That's what we want to do for the citizens.
As we continue our look back at the top stories, Irving and Grand Prairie teamed up to offer a COVID-19 vaccination site at the theater at Grand Prairie. Over several weeks, the facility operated for 13 non-consecutive days, and teams administered more than 22,000 shots. As you know, the virus continues to impact many parts of society. In fact, millions of families have felt the pain of losing a loved one to COVID-19. An Irving woman is channeling her pain into activism, spreading a message through Yellow Hearts.
Veronica Stansel was my amazing mom.
All of the names on this recording.
Freddie Garza was my 42-year-old son.
All of the names on these hearts and all of the faces on these portraits represent lives lost to COVID-19.
Regina Ng, my mother.
These chairs are a reminder about the specific impact here in Irving.
Each chair that's out today represents each life lost in Irving, Texas.
There are more than 160. They are all part of this closing ceremony for the Yellow Heart Memorial at the Jack D. Huffman Community Building. An audience is watching on Facebook Live as local survivors share their stories.
Jerry, within 2 days, was at 104.5, and the doctor said, get him to the hospital.
Tell me who's with you today.
This is my granddaughter, Anna, and she was very close to her pop-pop. Where's your heart? You hold your heart up.
We just want people to know it's not just numbers, it's faces, it's lives. Jerry was a wonderful husband. He was an adored Pop-Pop.
You miss your Pop-Pop. Yeah, you do. She still has a lot of memories of him, and so does my oldest grandson, and I hope that that continues, but I'll make sure that they do remember, because he loved them very much.
This has been really hard on all of us, especially the kids.
The family members at this ceremony share their heartbreak in the hopes of making a difference. They know numbers on the news do not tell the whole story.
More than 500,000 Americans have now been killed by the coronavirus.
I think people are just numb to the numbers, and I don't want my mom to just be a number. I want her to be remembered for the wonderful, amazing person that she was.
We will never let our loved ones be a number.
Irving resident Rosie Davis started the Yellow Heart Memorial after her mother died from COVID.
My mom's last words to me were, when you get to heaven, we're going to look for each other.
Her grief led her to action and advocacy. She connected with New Jersey teen Hannah Ernst, who started making these portraits of COVID victims after her grandfather died. What kind of response have you gotten to this display in Irving?
It's just been amazing. I mean, the amount of support and love and appreciation people have towards what I'm doing and what Rosie's put together, it's just unlike anything I've ever seen before.
The response was bigger than they ever expected, with people sending in names and requesting portraits from everywhere. How does that make you feel, just to know that you've been able to make this difference and this impact?
Sometimes it's hard for me to wrap my head around it. But, in the midst of my own grief, I'm helping other people that are grieving as well.
The memorial is coming down, but the work isn't over.
It's far from over. This is just the beginning.
A Yellow Heart Memorial is now up in Long Beach, California, and there are plans in other places as well.
One in New York, in Queens, and then we have one in Ohio.
South Africa, you told me?
South Africa, and also in the UK. And then one in the Philippines.
And all of this started with you right here in Irving, Texas.
Yes.
She puts together packages to help cities create their own memorials with Hannah's portraits, yellow hearts, and more. For her and others involved, it's all about sending an important message.
Even if you're not one of these people that believe in COVID, or if you're not one of these people that wear a mask, look at what's going on. These are lives. These are lives that have been lost. These are loved ones.
I know people are tired of wearing masks. They're tired of their lives being restricted. But you know what? We're tired of people dying.
Not only are they sharing publicly, they support each other through Facebook groups for victims.
I feel like only they understand what I'm going through, what my family's going through.
I love you, Mom.
A day after that closing ceremony, Rosie Davis joined volunteers to start taking down Irving's Yellow Heart Memorial. She carefully removed her mother's portrait, knowing that there are many more ways ahead to honor her memory.
This memorial has gone where I never imagined it would go.
It is a memorial motivated by grief that they share in hopes of saving lives. And coming up later, see how some people in Irving are showing gratitude for healthcare workers on the front lines. Let's get back to more of our top stories, including the new attractions in Irving. A big crowd turned out to celebrate the reopening of Heritage Park after expansion and renovation. The opening celebration was part of Holidays at Heritage. A lot of new and updated features are making this park a focal point of downtown Irving. History and the present also come together at another project in Parks and Rec. Georgia Farr Recreation Center got some major improvements. On many evenings, young people turn out at Georgia Farr Recreation Center to play basketball.
It's fun, and you have to work hard.
My dribbling and my shooting got way better because if you practice your form, you get better.
Beyond this basketball court, this rec center has a lot of new attractions to discover. This ribbon cutting celebrates the completion of the expansion of Georgia Farr Recreation Center. An all-new second gym with another basketball court and a turf field is the biggest addition. The indoor field is the first of its kind for the city's Parks Department.
On those hot, crazy days, kids can come in and they can play t-ball, they can play soccer.
There are also now locker rooms with showers, a weight room that more than doubled in size, a larger game area, and upgrades to the lobby.
It's a great day for the city of Irving. It's a great day for our Parks and Recreation Department. And more importantly, it's a great day for the residents in Bear Creek.
Throughout the event, people talked about the significance of this updated facility coming to Bear Creek. an area that even predates the founding of the city of Irving.
Oh, it's just great to be here and see these people that have worked before us to actually see something come together.
Good things come to those who wait and wait and wait some more, because this has been a long time coming.
And so to have that generation still here, to be able to see this and witness this today, because they put a lot of effort and a lot of work in trying to provide places for youth in Bear Creek when we couldn't go anywhere else to have recreation.
It's just really great to see them here, to let them know that their hard work didn't fall on deaf ears and that the city is committed to making great things happen across the whole city.
The rec center is now named for the woman who was its biggest advocate, Georgia Farrow.
I can recall the Parks and Rec individual then telling her, Georgia, this is the time for you to move, to try to get a recreation center in Bear Creek. So I always think about that and how tirelessly she worked on trying to get one.
Now, all of the improvements are complete inside, and outside there is an all-new playground. In all, it's millions of dollars in improvements paid for through federal programs.
And I'm really impressed with what we were able to do. Kudos to our Parks team and our Parks Board.
I've done a lot of projects in my time with the city, but this one really is close to my heart. To finally get this project complete is just beyond words.
Next, he hopes to install murals here to help tell the story of this part of Irving.
There's such a rich history here in Bear Creek, and when people come across from different parts of the city to utilize this facility, we want them to also get educated about the commitment and the people that made this happen.
That focus on people, past, present, and future, has been at the forefront for everyone working on this from the beginning.
That's the impact that all of this is for. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, but in the end, it's all about those kids and those residents having an experience here that they would not be able to have if this building were not here or be able to have it anywhere else.
Thank you for building this. They're doing a very good job in doing it, and I'm very thankful.
They are thankful for all of the work over several decades that made this center a reality. Let's continue with a look at more of what's new. Robert Sheik covered the opening of Fire Station number 4.
With the sound of bagpipes,
Uniform personnel, L-10,
and the raising of the Stars and Stripes, Irving's Fire Station 4 opened to roars of applause.
It's been a long time coming, this new Station 4.
City Council member Oscar Ward was among those front and center for the traditional pushback ceremony, symbolizing the dawn of a new era for Fire Station 4. And while this sparkling new facility features a number of 21st century amenities, it's deeply connected to Irving's past.
This piece of property belonged to the Toller family.
The Toller family first settled this land in the 1800s. Robert Toller still recalls childhood memories of growing up on this property.
I stood at the end of the driveway every day with kids that let out of school.
4 generations of Tollers gathered for photos as their family's legacy here is now intertwined with Irving's rapid growth.
What I think is very important as a city is able to progress and move forward, it has to understand and appreciate its heritage, as well as continuing and progressively moving forward with all of its services. And this fire station, Station 4 that you see here, is the perfect example of combining both heritage and city service and moving forward for decades to come.
Fire Chief Victor Conley made it a point to incorporate a unique Toller family theme when designing this new station.
Our idea was to keep the Toller farm mentality concept. So you look at this and you think Hill Country Farm. It's got the white Austin stone, it's got the cedars, it's got the pecan trees like down around San Saba. So it's got that farm, Texas farm theme going through it, and that's all to honor the Toller family and what they mean to this community.
The new facility pays homage to the land's historic roots, while prioritizing the health and safety of firefighters using modern technology and a strategic layout.
You see the yellow tubes hanging down the bays. Well, we hooked that up to the exhaust so there's no diesel fume being spread inside the station. That's known carcinogens. We've got a room for our bunker gear that's away from the station that has doors where there's no way diesel fumes can get in it. But in that room we have extractors and dehydrators to pull the carcinogens out and to dry the gear off quicker, we can put it back in service. We got a workout room. NFPA 1500 requires us to stay in shape, to do things that match our job. There's a lot of neat features rolled into this station that's about prevention and awareness to protect the firefighters and hopefully allow them to live a longer life like the rest of the community.
Perhaps fittingly, one of the most important features of the new station is its location on Metker Street between MacArthur Boulevard and North O'Connor Road, allowing fire and EMS personnel to faster serve the community than they could from the previous location of Fire Station 4.
We got multiple access egress points out of this, so if traffic is heavy on Metker, we can respond out Toller and get on Rochelle. So we got a lot of options for this.
Connecting Irving's past to its future. Fire Station 4 is the newest chapter in this historic property's lore. Robert Sheik for City Source.
And in other new additions, DART opened the Hidden Ridge Light Rail Station. It is another stop on the Orange Line in Irving, and it's located near Pioneer Natural Resources. Phase 1 of the Delaware Creek Trail Connector is now open as Irving continues to add to its network of trails. And there is more ahead. A 2-year project to reconstruct Irving Boulevard is getting started. The goal is to add features that will make the street more useful for pedestrians and bicyclists, as well as more attractive to developers. And you will be hearing much more about this in the months to come. The work is progressing quickly at William Square Plaza. The idea of all of this is to soften the space around the iconic Mustangs by adding trees and shade. The project is expected to be complete in 2022. It was in 2020 that the city finished work at Levy Event Plaza, but it was Independence Day 2021 that saw the first big celebration there. Robert returns with coverage of Irving Brings Back the Spark.
With the sights and sounds of freedom ringing through the summer air, Irving brings back the spark as thousands of residents gather for an Independence Day celebration like no other.
Last year there was really not much for 4th of July, and so it's glad for a sense of normalcy to be back. Now cheers to that.
Revelers of all ages showed up in festive attire, with everyone from young children
I'm wearing Minnie Mouse
to Mayor Rick Stouffer, proudly sporting the red, white, and blue.
That's what's so exciting about Irving is when we put together a program like this or our Parks and Recreation and we bring all our departments together to make something like this happen, the public really enjoys it. The public comes out and they realize how important it is to get out and be amongst each other and celebrate our diversity.
After a year in which time seemingly stood still, even the statues are ready to get moving on the 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July!
It was definitely a bummer not getting to do it last year because of COVID and stuff. But I missed it. I was so excited to get here.
It's great seeing the families coming back out and doing live events, you know. We made the best of it last year, but now it's we're making up for lost time.
It's great to bring everybody back out, and it's great to bring everybody out for this 4th of July celebration, especially here to Levy Plaza. It's something that we've been working on for many years, and now to come to see it at this level, it's amazing.
This marks the first major event at Levy Plaza. Situated on the southern tip of Lake Carolyn, the plaza provides an ideal setting for celebrations like this, offering waterfront views with plenty of room for food trucks and picnic tables, and a main lawn capable of seating thousands in front of a stage.
It's a great open green space, kind of is that missing piece that we had out here in the urban center right along Lake Carolyn. Gives us a chance to use this space for all kinds of different things, concerts, festivals.
This park was designed for these type of events, and to kick it off with July 4th, coming out of COVID, coming out of the pandemic, and you can just see people are having a great time, and we can't wait to just keep doing this, bringing more and more people down for event after event. And we have entities that are from around the country that are asking about this plaza, wanting to book this plaza, and we can now tell them and show them this is how the plaza works, and this is how it can be very successful for your event and bring in thousands of people as well.
The thousands of residents who packed the park were treated to live music, followed by a light show with images displayed on a giant fountain in Lake Carolyn, before eventually getting to the main event, a fireworks show lighting up the night sky.
Last year it wasn't the same watching them online, so we're very excited that we were able to come out and watch them in person.
A star-spangled party 2 years in the making as America celebrates its independence and Irving brings back the spark. Robert Sheik for City Source.
Now to another new attraction. The City of Irving and the Las Salinas Association worked together to make the Paws Salinas Dog Park a reality, and the debut event drew a fun crowd.
3, 2, 1.
This is the first ever Paws Salinas 5K9 on the scenic, lovely, beautiful Campeon Trail.
I think it's great. I think it brings the community together. We get to meet new friends, new dog friends.
I think it's wonderful. I really do. She runs with me all the time.
I feel like dog moms everywhere. Just like I want to take my dog everywhere with me. So having events like this is awesome.
We're just excited. You know, the community really has come together.
Once we made plans that we were going to actually build Paws Salinas, the first ever dog park in Las Salinas, we knew we had to have an event in conjunction with it, and the Paws Salinas 5K9 just rolled off the tongue.
We decided to join forces together with the Las Salinas Association. When we started the Irving Marathon Running Series, we wanted to target different demographics, and the dog community is big here in Irving.
How'd your dog do?
Oh, he did better than me. You know, he was pushing me.
He definitely tried to sniff every single dog that we ran by. He was less focused when we got on the trail, but I'm still very proud of him.
Both of my dogs are rescues, and I ran with both of them. Very motivating. I couldn't believe how much they pulled me along the way.
He actually helped me. Like, he pulled me forward when I was so tired. She was like, I'm done training, so let's just go ahead and do this.
She knew.
Yeah, she knew. She was ready.
Did Batman know?
Yeah, oh yeah, he definitely knew. This morning, as soon as we were getting dressed, he was like, oh, the running shoes came out. He was ready to go. So he saw a hot dog, and then he just followed that dog. It was perfect.
Tell me about the idea for the costume.
He's such a big dog, it was kind of hard to find the right size, and they had one in extra large, so now he's a hot dog.
The biggest challenge about organizing dogs is that you don't know what's going to happen at any given moment.
I think this is great. I think anytime that you can bring dogs and people together, I think it's great, especially for a good cause like schools.
Every single event that we do, we award a scholarship that the school's foundation then gives to a high school senior in the spring.
Someone that has participated in the Irving Marathon, whether they volunteered or ran the marathon, will be eligible to apply for a $1,000 scholarship from the Irving Marathon.
Yeah, way to finish with a smile, both of you. Way to go.
You seem full of energy crossing that finish line.
I know. You know how you save it just for the end, and you're like, okay, I got it.
Everybody had a good time, and we had about 16 awards that we passed out this morning.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever placed before, so that's kind of fun.
Thanks for putting this on. This is actually a really amazing event.
Batman's not tired at all.
Oh no, he has a lot of energy.
What's going to be the rest of their day today?
Today, they're going to sleep.
I was really happy to get to do something with him so we didn't have to leave him at home.
And this is something we look to continue to do in the future at Paws Salinas.
So to get residents of Las Salinas involved in something like this, like the Irving Marathon, Paws Salinas, I think it's a really great way to meet people that live in the same community as you.
So we're just very thankful for the community to respond in the way that they have with the events that we've created.
And we have another story for animal lovers. This one involves some dogs from the Irving Animal Care campus finding homes thousands of miles away. Meet some of the people making it happen and the new families coming together. This is a tough morning for Pippa. It's not any easier for her foster mom, Valerie Watson. They're about to say goodbye.
It's gonna be sad. We'll miss her.
Good to see you again.
Valerie is joining other pet fosters in this fast food restaurant parking lot as they prepare to put the dogs they've been caring for on a vehicle that will take them to their permanent homes.
Oh, my heart is broken. She's so sweet and quirky, so I'm sad to let her go, but I know she's going to a great family, so that's a good thing. It's a good thing.
You are helping families come together.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
She has her eyes on everything.
Oh yeah, she's very observant.
The journey will take the dogs about 36 hours to the northeastern United States. The DFW Humane Society launched this program in January to help Irving dogs find homes there.
There's a much greater demand for pets in the Northeast.
You're in New Hampshire. What are the conditions there that cause there to be a shortage of adoptable animals?
It's crazy, isn't it? I know you have the opposite condition in
Texas.
Both rescue organizations and potential adopters see the challenge. There in Connecticut, how tough is it to find a dog?
It's a fairly limited supply.
More people in the Northeast have their pets spayed or neutered, so they don't have a problem like we do here in the South, where there are a lot of unwanted litters.
And the result of that big push has created a increased demand and low supply.
It's okay, sweetie.
This transport initiative works to balance that supply and demand. It builds upon a program volunteer Amanda Rainey launched in Irving years ago.
It's a lot of time and it is a lot of effort, but it does really bring me a lot of joy.
Seeing dogs that are here for 5 and 6 months in a shelter with no applications and then they get picked, within a week of being pitched to our transport partners is probably the most satisfying kind of thing.
I can imagine it can be lonely for the dogs, here in a shelter.
Here's how the program works. First, they work to identify the right dogs for transport.
Every Saturday we are here.
They bring out just about every dog.
We're excited to pair him up and see how he interacts.
And observe everything.
No. The dog has to be animal friendly. Oh, got distracted. Gotta check my P-mail. They're also looking for dogs that are hardy temperaments, right? Because if you're gonna be on a transport, whether it's 2 days or the 5-day transport, you've gotta have some security, right? So we don't want dogs who are super nervous or skittish. We want dogs that are super happy-go-lucky like these two nuts here.
Step 2, they connect with rescue organizations in the Northeast and share what they have learned.
We do a great job of taking some photos. We'll take videos of them.
Shayla and China are just taking a little break.
We find out information about the dog, and then we're able to, before the dog even leaves Texas, do a really good job of matching it with a few families here so that when it arrives, there's already families eager to meet the dog.
Step 3 is a critical one, and it's one where the DFW Humane Society needs some help. It's time to find a local foster.
So we're always looking for, recruiting, trying to find fosters who are able to open their homes, to these dogs.
Give me your paw. Oscar. Oh, smart boy.
Beyond helping the dogs with socialization and other skills, being out of a shelter before transport is a requirement of some state and federal codes.
Animals do have to stay in a foster home for a minimum of 2 weeks before they're allowed to travel. We want to make sure that once that animal gets on transport, it's not harboring any illnesses that in close confines could infect other dogs along the way. So it's just another safety measure that we have.
He's like a big teddy bear, which I love.
Otherwise, fosters get to have fun and enjoy the company of a dog.
Some of our staff and volunteers are referring to it as pet sitting, which is really what it is.
The DFW Humane Society pays for food and required veterinary checks.
For each dog to be able to transport, they have to have what we call the doggy passport, which is a health certificate.
In some cases, they have not been able to find fosters like the ones you see here. That drives up expenses.
The not so optimal solution that we have is we can put dogs in boarding. However, in order to best set them up for success, we prefer that they go straight into a home. That way we can see how they act, once they're acclimated into a normal kind of life.
Next, it is time to transport. And that brings us back to this parking lot. Pippa's foster mom is getting ready to say goodbye after they have spent 2 weeks together getting to know each other in the earliest weeks of her life.
We have 2 dogs ourselves at home, and the 3 of them have just been having so much fun playing together. I just want her to find a good home and have a great, loving family that'll raise her.
Telling her she was beautiful and was going to have a happy life.
Ready, baby girl?
For some of these dogs, the long road ahead is nothing compared to the one traveled.
I want to help them all.
Irving Animal Services picked up a couple of these dogs as strays all the way back in September. They soon transferred to the DFW Humane Society.
The majority of the pets that we transfer for the program come from Irving Animal Services.
That's helping to keep the live release rate for animal services at 90%, higher than many municipal shelters. And you have a pretty ambitious goal this year.
Yes, our goal really is to rescue about 150 additional pets this year using the transport program. And we're really on track to do that.
All great numbers, but for the people involved in this program, nothing beats the experience for both fosters and rescue groups.
When I was at the transport pickup for Aria on Saturday, we were all in tears, and we've done it a million times. It's very emotional.
Welcome to New England.
Ready to foster again?
Yeah, I'm actually fostering, I think, in a couple of weeks.
And what's the best part about fostering?
Just knowing that you saved a life.
She stayed to see Pippa leave on her way to her new life. So we're so happy to show you this connection. Who is that you have with you?
This is Pippa.
Pippa, can you sit?
I'm really appreciative to anybody who fostered her down in Texas, and if she has brothers and sisters or cousins, we're here in Connecticut. I had so many people ask me if I was going to keep her because they wanted to adopt her.
While there is only one Pippa, there are many more Irving dogs on the way to the Northeast thanks to volunteers, fosters, and rescue groups working to match these dogs with loving families.
Oh, there you are. Do you see yourself?
The DFW Humane Society continues to look for fosters to make this program successful. In 2021, the DFW Humane Society helped 220 dogs find homes through this program. Certainly a lot of good news there. We have much more ahead on City Source. Including the heartwarming moment, a U.S. veteran is surprised with the news she will get a mortgage-free home. Stay tuned as our Best of 2021 special continues. Thanks for staying with us on this special edition of City Source. COVID-19 continues to create challenges in the healthcare system. Some groups in Irving are working to make sure to show their appreciation for people on the front lines.
Yelling, screaming, the whole night.
Year 2 in 2 locations with one main message.
Thank you to our healthcare workers.
Thank you very much for all you've done.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Baylor Scott & White Medical Center Irving is the first stop of this event showing gratitude to healthcare heroes.
You guys have been the shining light through all of it.
Teams from the City of Irving, the Chamber of Commerce, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the Las Salinas Association are here to recognize healthcare workers as part of National Nurses Week and National Hospital Week.
The work that they've done is incredible, and we're just happy to be out here to support them again.
From there, they moved to Medical City, Las Salinas.
I can't even begin to tell you how grateful and how full of my heart is for all the work that each and every one of you have done during this time.
Oh, it just feels amazing. The love and support from the community and the leadership here in the City of Irving is just tremendous.
The grit, the strength, the determination, you put the community on your shoulders.
Along with all of that gratitude comes some goodies. A day before the hospital campus visits, volunteers spread out across the Hotel Nilo ballroom.
We are stuffing bags today for our healthcare community to give back to them. We have about 1,500 bags to stuff.
I was a little like, oh wow, this is a lot, but we've been going really fast this morning.
It's like an assembly line, really.
Grab a bag, stuff one of each, and try to keep up because we're moving quickly here.
Along with these bags of donated items, the healthcare workers will later receive a meal and more gifts. But on this day, the focus is the message.
I think I will not get emotional, I promise. You did what everybody needed you to do. And one of the hardest things that you did oftentimes was be the family for these patients. I don't think that there is a prouder moment that I can have.
Some emotion up there from you.
Yes, absolutely. It's an emotional time. We can see it in your eyes, in your tears.
We feel the emotion for each of them that are working day and night to provide first-class health care to continue to keep our community safe.
And the things that you saw, the things that you did, and the comfort that you provided people will never be forgotten.
You've had a year's worth of emotion, a year's worth of exhaustion, a year's worth of passion and labor, but you now start to see that light.
It couldn't have been done without the amazing partnership and the relationships that we built during this time.
Irving's first responders always work closely with the local hospitals, and this provided a chance to express mutual appreciation.
We have a very close partnership, so for this Heroes event, we were happy to come out here and support their staff, the nurses and everything, and just let them know that we do appreciate them as well.
All the police and fire departments over the last year have had a really hard job, and we've come through it, I believe, with shining stars.
We're very fortunate
to have the kind of medical and health care that we have in our city.
While the need for a range of medical services will continue,
and hallelujah, we are in a better place.
They are taking this moment to share in the appreciation of a grateful city.
We're here to honor you and thank you.
Thank you very much for your perseverance. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much for your dedication. Thank you for taking care of our residents when they came in and they're in the most important time of their lives when they're struggling and they're reaching out to you for help.
It is gratitude that will continue beyond this special week dedicated to healthcare professionals.
And you being there made all the difference in the world.
Now to a medical emergency unrelated to COVID. We have some incredible police body camera video to show you. It captures a life-saving moment that led to honors for 2 Irving police officers.
Hello. I just called them. Okay.
Caught on police body camera.
Yeah, he complained about chest and then he was walking around. Sir, are you okay?
Irving police officer Daniel Wilson responds after a man fell to the concrete and seriously injured his head.
As I approached him, I saw lots of blood coming from his forehead. That's when I turned around and grabbed my medical kit with gauze and bandages.
Ramna. All right, back up.
While I was doing that, I realized that he was not responding to anything. Officer Edwards then arrived.
You want to check for a pulse? And there's no pulse, no breathing, and he was kind of gurgling, gasping for air, which is a sign that isn't good.
6-2, we got no pulse.
What happened here next would lead to this moment 2 months later.
These officers will be awarded the life-saving bar.
Police Chief Jeff Spivey honored the officers during a quarterly ceremony at the police department.
Officer Edwards and Officer Wilson checked the mail for a pulse, which they were unable to locate.
The body cam picks up what happened next. They started CPR.
Officer Edwards then moved from his left side to his head to support his airway, and then I began chest compressions. IFD arrived, and they relieved me from chest compressions, and they went straight into the ambulance into the hospital.
That CPR made the difference. Turns out the man had suffered a massive heart attack.
It's apparent that the actions of both officers resulted in the ultimate outcome of saving the man from imminent death.
But you don't have to take the chief's word for it. Romano Chiracuro is here to tell his own story, having beaten the odds for survival and speed of recovery.
God has given me second chance through all these people, and I'll be thankful to them for the rest of my life.
When we got to meet him, we didn't expect him to be standing up, let alone walking up. As soon as we walked in the front door, he stood up off the couch and came and greeted us. I think the best part was to see how close his family was and just how grateful they were.
Whatever they give back to the community is a lot more than just a job.
Now he can tell the story of that morning. The fit 47-year-old was running a 10K around Ranchview High School as he did every week.
I have no health conditions, no health issues, absolutely. I'm very careful about my diet. I don't smoke, I don't drink. It just came from nowhere. I woke up 3 days later in the hospital.
There, doctors inserted a stent in his heart. He looks back now with gratitude and faith because he says too many things lined up to be simply coincidence.
The lady who was just standing next to me when I fell, who usually is never in the parking lot, that day she happened to be there right there when I fell. She called 911. The police officers were around to come in and take action.
How we've impacted his life is amazing feeling for me.
Now, Romano Chiracuro is looking ahead to how he may pay it forward.
Once I recover fully, I plan to go to CPR classes myself and be ready whenever a situation arises.
But on this day, they are happy to be able to share a remarkable ending to this story that many thought would not turn out this way.
The direct impact in somebody's life of saving that, you don't get many chances like that in life at all.
Now to another story that will stir the emotions. The city once again teamed up with the nonprofit Operation Finally Home to pull off a huge, heartwarming surprise. We were there to see the big moment and capture all of the uplifting reaction.
A lot of heartfelt emotions going on right now.
These people are waiting to witness.
Still have probably about 10 minutes or so.
A moment that will change a veteran's life.
It just gives you chills because it's really cool.
In this truck, Luisa Velez is feeling
happiness, joy, amazement.
She just found out she and her son Spencer will receive a mortgage-free home through the nonprofit Operation Finally Home.
Welcome to your future home.
Thank you.
Moments later, reps from Operation Finally Home, the City of Irving, the Dallas Builders Association, and Winston Custom Homes broke ground for construction to begin.
2, 3. All right.
I'm speechless. Thank you for everything, every single person that's done anything for this to happen. Thank you.
Operation Finally Home works with partners to provide homes for military heroes.
We can never do enough for these young men and women who have worn the uniform to defend the freedoms and values that we often take for granted.
U.S. Navy Hospital Corpsman Luisa Velez deployed to Iraq twice as part of a medical battalion.
In the event that something happened, we would get them evac to the hospital or we get them evac to a ship. Also, unfortunately, like if something like death happened, we had to evac them back to the States.
She was helping people who had been wounded and then unfortunately encountered injuries herself.
She now suffers with PTSD and other conditions.
Every time you go to war, you change. Every time you go to war, you come back different.
And on behalf of the Irving City Council, thank you.
You know, cities, we're always about how do we help people. We really are. And having these lots available and being able to work with Operation Finally Home and the Dallas Builder Association to provide these homes for veterans, you know, it really tugs at my heart. Today really is about you and your service to our great country.
The City of Irving donated the land for this home.
City of Irving's just been an outstanding partner for us. I've never even heard of, not just in the Metroplex, but even across the country, everybody that partners with Operation Finally Home, a municipality stepping up nearly to the extent that the City of Irving has.
For us to be able to do something for the veterans who have served us, who have carried the freedoms that we have on their shoulders, for us to be able to pay them back is absolutely marvelous, and I'm proud to see this.
Wow.
Keys to your new home.
In the spring of 2019, retired Army Major Eric King moved into a home nearby in Irving's Heritage District months after his own surprise groundbreaking made possible by many of the same partners.
It's great because he's become part of the community.
Now, Luisa Velez is looking forward to making a future here in Irving.
You ready? Irving's home. Thank you. Happy that me doing what I did is now giving me this opportunity, and I'm providing for him a house. That's all I ever want, and he can have his own room finally.
I would like to put up pictures and posters and all that.
So you already have this planned out?
Luisa, I wanted to meet you just before I go. I'm Philip Sanderson. One of these.
On this day full of well wishes, there is still one more surprise. So this is so new, you haven't even seen a picture.
No, I have not.
She's walking over to take a look at the home she will be able to call her own.
Oh.
And they snap some pictures, some of the first of many memories they will be making on this site.
I never thought all of that would come together like this.
Many of you may remember the recipient of the first home in Irving. Retired Army Major Eric King is committed to the city and making a difference by supporting veterans facing the toughest of times. As the clock strikes 12 noon, retired Army Major Eric King is at Whistle Stop Plaza to kick off a special event. And if you could turn back this clock to this very day in 2005.
That is when I first had my IED attack over in Iraq, which led me to my darkest times in my life. So I was almost a victim myself of suicide.
This event aims to improve those dark times many veterans experience.
We need to recognize our veterans who have served our great country, but they have come back from combat and been dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder and other mental illnesses and gotten to a point in their lives where they took their own lives.
Woo! That's why he is setting out on a virtual walk and run-a-thon to raise money and awareness of suicide. Because it's virtual, people could participate anywhere. This Army sergeant is in New Mexico.
I recently lost my own brother. And so this mission, I take it personal.
Major King's own brother is running alongside him. Terrence King hopes this event will help break down the stigma around mental health issues. It's what kept them from having an open dialogue for a while.
He had called me and said, brother, I need to talk to you about something. So,
we sat on the phone and we talked. And I'm just like, well, why you didn't come to me at first? And he was like, I didn't know how to. And then at that point, that's when I just broke down and we both cried on the phone.
Let's get it. They're running through downtown Irving for 22 minutes because
it's reported that 22 veterans a day are taking their lives.
Along the way, there is a moment of silence at Veterans Memorial Park. And at Irving City Hall, a special salute with Irving Mayor Rick Stover, a strong supporter of Major King and the nonprofit he founded, Vets What's Next.
What really touches me is his desire to give back. He's had a lot of challenges in his life, but he's committed to giving back to those veterans that have suffered through the similar things that he has. And it's important to him to make sure that they understand the benefits that are available to them and the help that's available to them.
Major King has already launched an app to help connect veterans with resources. For him, his biggest support comes from his family. And here's another one.
And this little guy right here. So it just fills my heart. And it just makes me want to just continue every day. What can I do better? How can I contribute more? How can I save a life?
As the run continues, his thoughts shift between the heavy,
my best friend, Captain Howard Wade, who took his life,
and the hopeful.
Today may be hard for you, but tomorrow can be better. And if tomorrow isn't better, look for the day after to be better.
You have a reason to live. It's that optimism that guides his work with Vets What's Next.
And that's another great thing that Vets What's Next is doing with our Scholarship Foundation, is to help remove the burden of those veterans who are putting their dependents through college by taking advantage of a Vets What's Next scholarship.
Let's get it poppin'! This year's proceeds benefited the Irving Police Department's Family Advocacy Center.
We're going to be back here next year doing the same thing again in many years to come.
As long as the need persists, he vows to keep running and keep talking about the issue.
And Vets What's Next just want to help put things in place to reduce that number from 22 of our American heroes from taking their lives down to 0.
Major King's nonprofit also hosted a golf tournament at the Irving Golf Club. This event raised money for scholarships. Here is another positive initiative. Over the years, we've told you a lot about the Irving Police program called Shop Talk. One barbershop's involvement led to a grant that is making a big impact. The buzz of barbers and the chatter of customers. I know that's right. All sounds of a typical busy day at Mitchell's Barbershop in Irving. But on this day, all of that activity is gone and nothing is left inside. That's because a big transformation is about to happen here.
There's going to be a drastic change in here.
Before we show you that change, let's look at what's prompting it. Back in 2016, Irving police officer John Plunkett had the idea for Shop Talk, a program to work with barbershop owners to help police build positive relationships with the African American community.
Mitchell was the first shop that we had in the Shop Talk program back in 2016. We approached Mitchell and asked him, what do you think about doing a program?
From day one, he was all in.
The black culture, everything starts at the barbershop. And we need more hands-on relationships with the cops.
And since that first event,
it has just grown tremendously, and to see a transformation like this because of his willingness it's uplifting.
After that, the program's growth surged and even gained national honors. The first time you saw police come in here, what did you think?
Who getting arrested and what happened?
Now, more than 20 Irving barbershops are participating. Police make regular visits, and no question is out of bounds.
Why is it like this? Why does it seem like we are kind of targeted sometimes?
Let's have a real conversation about what we're doing as the Irving Police Department.
As the program grew in Irving to include meetings and more, the nonprofit One Community USA joined the effort and is working to spread Shop Talk to other cities.
What we're trying to do again is change the dialogue on the street, and this is a great way to do it.
Ms. Brinker and One Community said, hey, look, let's do something for this here shop.
The nonprofit is supporting Mitchell's Barbershop with a grant. $10,000 for renovations.
Just to give back like that, it was really awesome to me.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, it's our pleasure. Mitchell's got this grant because he is an ambassador in the community, and it's One Community and Irving Police Department's way of saying thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna have my booths set up, 4 booths set up here, chairs.
While the funds will improve the interior, the improvements will extend beyond the walls of this shop.
We reached out to code enforcement because there was a lot of issues outside of the shop that Mitchell brought up to me and some of the other tenants in this area brought up to me.
And so we were able to come out here and kind of assess the situation and determine, what kind of violations need to be worked. And our team has been out here working it ever since.
Code enforcement notified the center's management of several issues.
I think that they were a little caught off guard at first. But they have bought into it, and I think that the evidence is out there. I mean, they are making repairs and cleaning up.
They updated lighting in the parking lot, added a dumpster enclosure, cleaned and restriped the parking lot, and more.
Everybody has really stepped up.
Neighborhood crime remains a concern. This part of town has brought some challenges to your department, right?
Yes, absolutely. Apartment tenants tend to be very transient, and so it's really hard to establish that feeling of neighborhood. Couple that with some aging infrastructure, some crime issues that naturally flow into that, and there are some challenges.
What started as a project inside the four walls of Mitchell's Barbershop is also geared at improving the entire neighborhood by creating some momentum for change.
Enthusiasm breeds more enthusiasm, and when you see people caring about their property and taking pride in the neighborhood, it is contagious.
Help from local businesses made the $10,000 grant go even further. Mitchell got a new sign.
Man, I love it.
And then inside, the first renovations in the shop's 31-year history are complete, to the surprise of some customers.
A lot of them come in, they open the door, they close it. Say, this is the wrong shop.
Now it's like when they come in, they smile.
And the hope is the improvements will continue to make an impact both in this neighborhood and beyond as Shop Talk, that started right here, further expands across the country.
It's an awesome feeling, man, from the heart.
And here is another example of a grant making a difference. Mission Tomorrow, a nonprofit founded by two ambitious Irving teens, secured a $50,000 grant from Lowe's. That led to 100 new trees and irrigation at Cimarron Park. Dozens of animals found new homes during the annual event called Clear the Shelters. We found a lot of happy tales at the Irving Animal Care Campus. Huge smiles caught on camera as Maxito joins this family. It was a surprise for these kids, hours in the making.
3 a.m. this morning, I just couldn't go to sleep.
Then Jeanette Gayton arrived here at the Irving Animal Care Campus 2 hours before it opened.
I've been looking at him ever since he got on the website.
Small dogs are the ones that move the fastest. Yes. So for you to get not just a small dog, but a very highly adoptable one, yes. It's like, oh man, you really lucked out. Yes.
And her luck gets better because this adoption was free. She visited during a week-long fee-free event that was part of the month-long Clear the Shelters campaign. That initiative started in Irving and spread nationwide through a partnership with NBC.
Every day of the year, it's about making sure that these animals have an opportunity to go home. But during Clear the Shelters, it happens fairly rapidly, and it's nice to see so many animals go home in such a short period of time.
I adopted my last dog here, and he needed a little friend. So this one's playful, so he'll be a good companion.
Got Smough right here for you.
Oh my goodness.
Keisha Gavin and Brooke Gent are longtime best friends, looking to add to their busy households.
I have 2 older daughters at home and then this little one, but we need a kitten. I need an animal, a pet. Look, baby.
You have your hands full.
Yeah. I like to overachieve.
Aww. Our kids really want one. Her kid's been wanting one, so we're like, let's just go together.
We do a lot of play dates, so we'll probably have cat dates now too. So we'll bring them together.
Hi, look at that. Being able to come out, get it for free is a blessing.
We saw her, we immediately fell in love with her.
Ariel Graham and her husband are working toward adopting Jenna.
What do you say, Jenna? Do you want to come home with us?
Jenna has beautiful eyes that she wanted me to see up close before she goes home.
Oh, she's a jumper, sorry. We are extremely excited.
Adopters write the name of their new pets on this whiteboard, and it's filling up. We spotted some unusual names.
We do try to get creative. We had Rabbit De Niro, he got adopted.
And animals.
It's not unusual for us to see all different kinds of animals, snakes. We have guinea pigs and rabbits right now.
For all of the success stories during Clear the Shelters, there are some that make the team here wonder, why the animals are left waiting.
Oh my gosh, Pudge is amazing.
Where's your tennis ball? Pudge, the playful pug, did not immediately make a match.
She just has personality for days. And we actually had somebody just looking at her, and the woman came out and said that Pudge was just way too ball motivated for her.
All right. Pudge does want to play with tennis balls all day long, even when she's alone. She did eventually find a home. And then there is Delilah.
She's our longest resident right now.
She has been waiting for her forever home for months.
Such a great dog.
Yeah, she is. It's just she's really shy in the kennel, really shy with new people. She's a big goofball once she decides that she likes you.
At last check, she is still waiting for a home. Clear the Shelters brings new attention to those animals up for adoption and everything happening here.
The other part of Clear the Shelters, besides trying to find homes for all the animals at the shelter, is really to bring awareness about animal shelters and shelter pets in general, and the ways that you can help pets, like volunteering, making donations of food or other items that pets in the shelter could use. You could foster a pet.
There's always animals here that need an extra hand and need a little extra help, and that's what we're here for.
The month-long Clear the Shelters campaign led to hundreds of adoptions at the Irving Animal Care campus.
Here is small fry. Oh my gosh, you guys arrived at the same time. I think it's going to be really exciting for me and my family and stuff, and we're going to give her a good home.
New family members on a new journey. Maxito's starting a new life.
Yes, he is.
They are finding happy, loving, forever homes through Clear the Shelters in Irving.
All right.
Another event is on its way to becoming a tradition. It's called Irving Park, and thousands of Irving residents turned out to celebrate Halloween. Scary sights and creative costumes.
Jingle Bell. I'm Luke Skywalker. I am Dead Darling.
Some of the highlights of Irving Park.
I think this is like amazing. I was just kind of expecting maybe a couple booths, but this is like all out, so I'm super impressed.
This is really great, bringing the city out. It's a lot of fun things to do.
You have a bucket, young man.
Last year, the pandemic prompted the city of Irving to make it a drive-through event. But this time around, costume characters are out and about.
What does the witch say?
And ready for some fun at a transformed Trinity View Park.
And for Irving to come together, it's awesome.
This year we knew that there was going to be a lot more traditional Halloween and fall activities going on. So we wanted to do something that catered to our Irving residents, give them a chance to be outdoors, have a great time for the whole entire family.
Yeah. We're Sailor Moon theme. Our daughter's over there. She's Sailor Moon.
If you haven't seen Freddy yet, I think he's the best one here. I've never seen a Freddy Krueger look so good.
Along with those characters haunting the park and fun rides, there it is! City of Irving employees and leaders led carnival games.
Our office is doing a circus event. I am the ringmaster of the circus, and you can take that however you want.
It's been a great team effort, and I think everybody, even the people who are working, are enjoying it.
We will take you inside the huge haunted maze in a minute. But the fun started even before the sun went down, and some things looked a little less scary for the younger kids.
Well, we wanted something fun for them to do that was safe, something family friendly.
Tell me about her costume.
Is her a unicorn? She likes unicorns.
I think it's a really great event. I think it's really neat to be able to see our community come out together, see our staff put everything together to do this, and work really hard to provide an event like this in the fall for our residents in the city. It's the right thing to do.
There are plenty of places people can pose for pictures they can share from this event, including at this big setup by Irving's Communications Department.
And the theme this year is Sanderson Sisters. So the whole Hocus Pocus universe is represented in the booth that you see behind us.
It's just fun to be able to come out here and get to see the residents that live in our community and give back and have some fun.
And they are just getting started.
Still a lot to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been here for almost an hour and we haven't even touched the surface of it yet.
I'm feeling like I should go sleep late.
This is a great place. We do things for our citizens because we care about our citizens.
Care and scare. Check out this haunted maze full of spooky scenes.
I screamed 25 times.
I almost died in there.
And what do you think about the ones that were chasing you?
Scary.
They were super scary?
Come on in!
I think I want to go again.
So I think we might do it like 2 or 3 times.
Tell me, what's the secret to scaring someone in there?
Well, it's really sneaking up on people, you know, hiding in the shadows.
I'm getting scared myself sometimes.
Do you make any kids cry in there?
Well, I don't think I personally made them cry, but there were some kids crying. We try to keep the crying to a minimum.
She was part of the haunted wedding scene that ended with a fun reception. And this would not be the only dancing we would see. Back in the center area, the good times include line dancing with some supersized scarecrows. And then we found one mom who is a solo act.
Kind of thought nobody was watching.
A lot of ways to have fun, at least for most.
She's not into Halloween. This is not her favorite thing, so she's very frightened tonight. She's not feeling it.
But for the rest...
Oh, it's great. I had no idea Irving did this. This is so awesome.
And a lot of people went home with more than just memories. There is the candy.
Tic Tac, Smarties, and some Reese's Pieces.
And the final event of the evening, a pumpkin giveaway. They got to take one home any way they could get it there. And maybe start thinking about next year's Erie Irving Park.
A lot of good times. We're having a great time, and we look forward to continue it year after year.
That wraps up our look back at the best of 2021. Remember, you can always email us your thoughts on our stories. The address is ictn@cityofirving.org. Also, find us on YouTube. Our channel is at youtube.com/thecityofirving. Subscribe and you can get notifications when we upload new videos. And of course, we always appreciate the likes and positive comments. Thanks for watching this special edition of City Source. Stay healthy, have a great 2022, and we'll see you next time.